Being that we have a quorum for the Conservation Commission for our meeting of June 16th, I will call us in order. We have to approve 2 minutes from our past meetings from May 19th and June 2nd. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make that motion for both dates.
I'll second the motion.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
So moved. And we have some new public hearings to open, which we haven't had to do for a while. The first public hearing is for 343 and 349 West Center Street for a notice of intent and stormwater management permit filed by Jacob Driscoll Engineering for Taba LLC, proposed commercial development and retail dental office space. And we're open.
All right, good evening, everyone. Greg Driscoll of Jacob Driscoll Engineering here tonight, representing Michael Taba of Taba LLC. I think we're all familiar with the site. It's formerly Dr. Peterson's dental practice and a house that he owned and rented out right next door that comprises the site right there on West Center Street, just past Market Basket and Dunkin' Donuts. So he's proposing to construct a 6,500 square foot building to be a dental office for himself and also retail or office space for rent. The parcels are located on the north side of West Center Street in West Bridgewater, and the resource areas.
Do you want to present your plan?
Sure. As I can see it. So the parcels are located on the north side of West Center Street. This is the old dentist office right here, and a house that was rented out right here. The property is abutted by residential properties on the Prospect Street side, commercial property on either side on West Center Street. Across the reason we're here tonight is because there are wetlands within jurisdictional distance to the property and the work that are located across the street on West Center Street. So there's the wetland line right across right here. Zoom on that a bit. So as we know, right across the street there on West Center Street is all wet. This is the demolition erosion control plan. So the house and the dentist office will be torn down. Erosion control will be put in, protecting some of these existing trees. Septic systems will be removed, and we'll put a we have reserve area for stockpiles and dewatering. That's all for the stormwater permit, as well as the NOI and our construction entrance. This is the site layout. So the building is right here. Parking in front and along the side. Pretty much where the existing driveway is to the house at 343 is where the entrance to the site will be located. So we're showing, 26 parking spaces, and everything else meets zoning. I mean, it's not conforming lot, so we'll be fine as far as that goes. And we go to planning. This is the grading and drainage plan. So real quick, I'll just jump over to the existing drainage area plans, talk about drainage real quick. So right now the site either drains towards the back of these properties, towards Prospect Street, or towards West Center Street. The proposed drainage areas captures all of this area into the proposed drainage system out front. So the amount of area draining towards these properties on Prospect Street is reduced by quite a bit. And that's shown in the drainage report as well. Each one of these, so going towards the Prospect Street, each one of these storms is reduced outflow coming out, as well as towards existing design point 1, West Center Street. Those all the flow that goes towards West Center Street is reduced as well, all through the 100-year storm. So existing septic systems we removed, and the buildings, the new building gets constructed right here. New septic system kind of overlaps the one that we actually designed the septic system here as a repair for Dr. Peterson in 2016, I believe. So that will come out, and this new system will be put in its place to handle the proposed building. We did get comments. We submitted to Board of Health, got comments back, and have submitted new plans to them with some minor revisions. And the building and all the parking lot up to the trench drain, it's all collected in this underground chamber system right here, with isolator rows that will treat the TSS, total suspended solids, before it gets into the infiltration portion of the system. And then we have an outlet, and we did contact DPW about this. The only work we're proposing on the opposite side of West Center Street is to clean this pipe out from this street drain right here, this catch basin. So we want to tie an overflow into that. We'll clean this. We'll clean out the catch basin itself, which is full of sediment and everything. We'll put a hood on it to protect it and treat the runoff. And we'll clean out this 18-inch pipe that goes under West Center Street and install some riprap outlet protection before that water that's already draining West Center Street discharges towards the wetland. So that's the closest work we're doing right there, is to jet that pipe out and put a outlet protection on that pipe. And this is our landscape plan. And then we get into the details, construction details. So that's pretty much the project overview. Let's turn it back over to John with any comments that you might have.
All right, so Greg, can you explain to the commission what the trench drain is installed in that area at the entranceway and what it does?
So the trench drain right here will keep the water that flows towards the street. It will intercept it right in here and get it into the system, and also help treat it as well, kind of like a catch basin. And the trench drain is shallow, so that's why we can have our outlet pipe cross underneath it as it ties into this catch basin for an outlet. So right now, all of this pavement area is existing right in here, and this driveway all flows uncontrolled out to West Center Street. So this area right here will be the only area left that's going to flow like that, and we just can't get the water all the way up to the edge of the road into the system because it's too low. So we're capturing as much as we can and treating it before the water gets out, either infiltrating into the ground or treating it before it discharges.
Also, Greg, can you explain what you are doing for the existing sidewalk that's out there?
Yeah. So the existing sidewalk right in front of our portion of the building is going to be repaved. Like all through here, it's really not existing because that's where the driveways are. So we're going to take it and pull it away from the road a little bit, connect it to, it looks like this section right in here that's existing, and then back over here to the existing sidewalk.
Now, I noticed on your site plan that you're proposing a grade right about at the back edge of the sidewalk. How does that match up with the existing elevation of the sidewalk? So it's a 97 contour.
Yeah, that's an existing contour right there. Let's see. So right through here, we're tying into the 97 contour that exists right there with the driveway. That's the proposed 97, I mean. And like right through here, we're gonna match grades pretty much through here. You know, that 97 might get pushed out a little bit just to level off the sidewalk.
Yes, I was concerned about the rise in elevation right at the driveway entrance, so that if it was too steep, we'd have a handicap issue with the ADA regulations.
Okay, between here and here.
No, back where it crosses the sidewalk.
Across the old driveway right here.
No, if you go to the left hand side of the entrance, you'll see your proposed contour coming across.
Oh, like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that could be a construction change when you're out there if it doesn't work. If if it starts to be too steep for handicap regulations, that, as you said, you could change the sidewalk out here because you're going to be modifying it.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. I don't have any issues with this, and at this point, I won't make a recommendation until we have a chance to have the commission ask questions or any abutters.
The only other one I noticed, John, is snow. Oops.
That's snow storage areas. Okay. Yeah, we're showing snow storage here. Thought we had some back in here. Oh yeah, right here. So wherever we can push it off back in there and then all along here.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, I did, Greg. Right in the front of the new driveway, it looks as though the elevation is going from 100 to 98. How are you picking up the water on that runoff? Right in the front of the building.
Okay. So
right
by
by
here?
the side, right by the sidewalk. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're picking up all the water up to the curb in the parking lot right here. This is where the parking lot ends.
Yeah.
And then we got these catch basins at the low point. So the water sheeting down to here, which is a low point,
Right.
and collected in here and here. And then this is just going to be grass in here. It's just going to flow off.
So a 2-foot drop isn't going to be, not that.
No,
much.
because there's not a lot of water. It's the water that
You've
falls
already
out starts
picked it up.
here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're
And that
capturing everything that's coming from the impervious area before it gets to that grass area. So
I got you. Yeah, I don't. Maybe it's me. I haven't seen an infiltration system. Seemed large to me when I first looked at it. Have we seen that before? That type of design.
It's such a large impervious area. I'll let Greg answer, but he's got a lot of impervious area there. So why don't you address that, Greg?
yeah, it's pretty much a function of how much the soil can infiltrate and
Okay.
the area that you send into it, the first area that you send into it. So
And
Yeah, function of the driveway and the roof then. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay. I mean the parking lot. All right.
and you have it raised up because of the water table clearance.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's why there's a little bit of a grade in the grass area.
Mm-hmm. I'm all set.
Any other commissioners, any abutters? Comments, questions? John, anybody shaking their hands or waving?
Yep, I can stop sharing if that'll help you see everybody.
I don't see anybody raising their hand on this one.
All right, then at this point, I will entertain a motion to close the hearing.
I'll make a motion to close.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. And I will entertain a motion to issue a order of conditions and the general stormwater management permit.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
Great. Thanks, everyone.
We have on the agenda 103 Matfield Street, request
Just
for
real-
determination.
Just real quick, John, do you guys need me to stay on for the Gochesset discussion later on? Or,
Sure, you can.
okay, do you need me? Or-
No, we really don't need you. We're going to talk about the order of conditions and the conservation restriction.
Okay.
So
I know
it's
it's
up to
supposed to have a
you.
meeting. I might log back in later on.
Okay, I'll let you in.
Okay, thank you. Have a good night.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. So next we have 103 Matfield Street, request for determination of applicability by Collins Engineering and Michael Donovan to construct a garage. And I believe John's got it up on the screen.
I think Peter from Collins
Peter?
has,
Okay.
yeah.
You guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right, and you see the plan on the screen, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, so for the record, I'm Peter Lyons with Collins Engineering. We're representing the homeowner, 103 Matfield Street tonight for an RDA for a request to build a proposed addition off an existing one-bedroom home. Quick overview of the plan. The house is kind of up on a hill and the backyard slopes down to a pretty obvious wetland. The purple line in the middle of the plan is our 50-foot buffer to the BVW, and the 100-foot buffer cuts through the front yard. A couple quick dimensions. Looking at the back of the proposed addition, the proposed foundation would be as close as 51 feet to the resource area. To protect the wetlands, we have provided a 12-inch erosion control starting at the back corner of the existing house and wrapping up around the project, ending at the street line. Additionally, we have proposed a crushed stone dry well to the western portion of the garage to accommodate for the increased roof runoff. That's a 5-inch by 4-inch deep crushed stone dry well. Additionally, we have shown conservation posts to be installed along the existing wetland line. We have a total of 5 conservation posts shown on the plan. Whoops, sorry to zoom around on you.
That's okay.
We also have a detail for the standard conservation sign on the 2-inch pipe. There's our 12-inch silt sock, erosion control detail. Lot disturbance is 2,500 square feet, and that all occurs within 100 feet of the wetland buffer. Let's see what else we got. A couple basic notes, reference points, work limits to be staked out by the engineer. Contractor, as always, to sweep and clean the street at the end of the day. DEP numbers posted. pretty much the standard stuff there. If I can do it correctly, I was gonna just pull up a picture of the front of the property, just to show the addition is going on the right side of the house. And right now it's existing pavement area where the cars are. We're gonna be coming about, I think it's 6 or 8 feet to the right, extending beyond the truck with the proposed garage. So everything being done is in a pretty contained area. We're not taking down any trees. There will just be a little bit of grading to accommodate the expanded driveway on the new side of the driveway. And that's pretty much the project. Does anyone have any questions on this?
John, do you have any?
I don't have any issues whatsoever on this.
All right, any other commissioners, comments, concerns?
I take it that it's previously disturbed area in that 50 in the backyard,
Correct.
an older home and so forth. I mean, there isn't much of a lawn anywhere except in the front, but so the only real disturbance is the 51 feet plus temporary disturbance.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, there'll be a little bit of earthwork within the erosion control measures. So
Right.
we will be working as close as 43 feet. Permanent changes, we're looking at 51 feet to the foundation.
Okay. That's all I have.
All right, then I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
I'll make the
Motion to
motion.
close.
Did any butters have any questions?
Thanks, John.
No. So I'll make a motion to close.
I'll second.
Moved and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
So moved. I will entertain a motion to issue an order of conditions and a waiver for work within the 50-foot for the temporary installation.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
Just a correction, that'd be issue a negative determination number 3.
Oh,
So you could either let the waiver go, and I'll correct it and not be a order of conditions, and then we could do a motion to issue the -3 determination. So either way.
are we gonna need a waiver within the 50 if they're just
Yeah,
putting
they're doing some temporary work there, but only just to put in the erosion control and dig up the footing and that for the footing and that kind of thing.
Yeah, and if I could just add, that's an existing lawn already, so we're not going to be, encroaching further towards the wetlands, really. So,
time frame to get the job in and done? Couple of months at the most?
no, I mean, as far as putting the foundation in and stabilizing the material, that's generally a couple weeks. But as far as, the finished lawn to come in and everything, we're looking at maybe 6 weeks or something.
Okay. Yeah, I was just concerned with the erosion control staying too long and then having to reseed afterwards and if it was too long into the season or whatever, but you should have plenty of time. All right, then I'll entertain the motion to issue the -3.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
So
Thank
does that negate the other motions we made or not?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All righty.
Okay, the next one we have is map 43, lot 61, Lincoln Street, for a abbreviated notice of resource area delineation filed by Silva Engineering for Hasiotis. And this is to just approve a wetland line. It's not for anything else, but just to approve where the wetlands are on the site. So we're open. And John, who do we have presenting?
Rebecca.
Rebecca from Silver Engineering. So you said it for me. What you have before you is a wetland line approval. So you have the large 72-acre lot on the corner of West Center and Lincoln Street. And
You want me to present it, Rebecca?
yeah, you can. Thank you. This wetland delineation was presented to you in 2006 and approved. And then it was extended until 2011. And Hasiotis has since been trying to do something with it. And so we're before you tonight to get the wetland line approved again, in the hopes that we'll come before you again with a notice of intent. So you get 6,000 lineal feet or over of EVW. And we staked out the flag locations for ease of reviewing. I don't know if anybody had a chance to look at it. We did put pink flags everywhere. Do you need the 2006 plan?
I didn't hear that, Rebecca. Could you repeat that?
Do you want to see the 2006 plan to compare? I mean, we're just looking to have the same wetland line reapproved.
Was it the same?
We represented the flags as they were on the 2006 plan and asked the commission to approve the flags as they were or make their recommendations as needed.
So I've noticed that DEP hasn't issued a file number on this yet.
I noticed.
And so we can't close this and tonight anyway, but we'll have to wait until we get that file number. In the meantime, the flagging that was approved and had been extended over the years was originally reviewed by me when I worked for the commission before becoming an agent. I was a consultant to review for the commission flagging done by the consultant that Hasiotis had hired way back then. So much of this flagging is very similar, and I will need a little bit of time to get out there the rest of this week to finish it off. And I have to admit, I haven't gone out to review it all, been tied up with some things. And so luckily we don't have a file number. It gives us a chance to get out there, or any commission member might be able to do the same. But I just want
to access that, John.
So if you, it's across the street from the Russo greenhouses.
Right. Any private property there, or?
So if you were to pull over to the side of the road on the greenhouse side, there's a shoulder there.
Right.
Then you could walk across the street and then go out into that field and you'd see this.
Okay.
I entered the site through a driveway down at the far south end on our property, adjacent to, if I can read this.
Right here, probably.
Yes, I was actually able to pull in there. There was a bit of a drive. I wouldn't go much further because it's very bumpy.
Okay. All right.
It is overgrown, but not it's not heavily wooded. It's just an overgrown field right now.
Okay.
Yeah, John, my only question was, now that the field is set, basically unused since the last time we looked at it.
Yeah, that's why. So sometimes when it's sitting fallow without being worked, you may see some of the wetland transition plants moving away from the line or down gradient or up gradient of the line that's marked there.
Especially where it was a farm field and the soils get changed and moved around with the general farming, things change quite a bit. So now having a chance to actually see what Mother Nature intended, we might have a better idea where those lines actually are. So John, you'd think our next meeting, you would probably have this done?
Yes, I would.
Okay. Any commissioners have any questions? I will open it up to the public that's viewing tonight. Anybody have any questions, comments?
All right. Anybody want to raise their hand? Okay. I'll unmute RTHML.
Oh, hold on.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Okay, can you hear me?
Now we can hear you.
Okay, I had to unmute myself. In that field, my late husband Jerry used to skate in the back of the fields. There's three skating. There was 3 ponds back there. What's going to happen to that?
Let me find it again. So do you have an idea where he remembered the ponds?
Well, there were 3 of them. I think pretty close to the highway.
Yeah, so there's a kind of a intermittent stream that runs from about this area here, downslope towards the highway, and then along the side of the highway. And so you probably got some ponding in this area. You have another intermittent stream through here, and another area that's ponding in there. And then, of course, to the south, it's a huge wetland area
Right.
all the way over to South Elm Street. So in between here, you've got some areas right behind the dwelling that's on this parcel. You've got some wet areas that are not connected. They're kind of isolated away, but it does have an existing swale connecting the two. So that's probably where there's some additional possibility of a pond that might have been in here as well.
Yeah.
So at this point, we don't know what their intentions to develop it are, but
Oh,
once
okay.
the wetlands are identified, they have to work around or within the areas that are uplands. So that once we've identified it, there'll be a protected area going forward.
Okay.
Any other hands?
All right, hearing none, I will entertain a motion to continue this to our next meeting.
A motion to continue to the next meeting, 2 weeks, is it?
No, I'll second that.
Oh,
Actually,
that's
John,
July-
our next
Yeah.
meeting, because
July
of
4th.
July holiday, falls, is it the 21st, or do we have one on the 7th?
So we had published a scheduled meeting schedule. And typically in July, you skip the first meeting and
Right.
have the second. So
It'd be
the
the
7th
21st.
or the 21st. And that doesn't mean that we couldn't have a meeting on the 7th in doing a Zoom meeting. So it's up to the commission. If you want to have a meeting on the 7th, we could do another Zoom meeting on the 7th. Even though it's published differently, we could call for a meeting, and we can do that at any time. So it's up to the commission whether you want to take a break on July 7th or have a continuation for this meeting, and as well as voting on the final order of conditions for the Scotland Street 40B.
I'll be around, so I have no objections.
I actually won't be, because I kind of in my calendar had kind of tentatively planned that as not having one that week, so I kind of have something
Yep.
going.
Yep, that's fine. Steve, would you be around?
Yeah, I'll be around.
So it's up to the commission. I mean, we published it by having some time off, but because of the COVID-19, things are a lot different now. So people are staying home, not going on vacation as much. And Ryan, if I had a chance, I'd go someplace. Are you going somewhere, did you say?
Yeah, camping, just
Oh, nice.
away from people.
John, then I
Yeah,
would say
I don't,
we could publish it and post it as long as we post it in time for an open meeting. I'd be willing to say continue it till the 7th.
All right. I'm a little worried about having too much of a backlog of stuff. As it is, I've got to make some arrangements with the commission members to start signing some of the permits that we've put together, which isn't very efficient because it's probably one of these things where I might have to set up the time to come by your house and have you sign on the hood of the car or something, and that kind of thing. So I'm just worried that if we do our normal thing, we may find that we're going to be really backlogged with a lot of stuff.
Yep. Okay. Then we'll put it on for the 7th.
so 21st or the 7th?
7th.
Okay, gotcha.
6:30?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Next, we have a continued public hearing for 400 Manley Street for the notice of intent and general stormwater permit.
They have not submitted anything.
Okay.
So we're going to have another continuance to, why don't we make it to the 21st on this one? Because I don't see him making any progress, and we still have to have Alan and Major review the changes, and then they have to submit a report back in time for us to get it out to everyone. So I'm saying the 21st.
All right. Any questions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to continue till July 21st.
I'll make that motion.
Oh, second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
So moved. And next we have administrative discussions. We have the Scotland and Maple Street 40B, the order of conditions and framework, which John has been putting together, in the trusteeship discussion.
All right, this is the start of the order of conditions, the draft order of conditions. So what's in red is I just need to get a little better understanding of their wetland restoration plan and their turtle nesting plans, and insert the actual title and the deeds, and the dates on that. But you can see that it's 6 pages long. It encompasses, see if I can move this thing around here. There we go. It encompasses a requirement for an erosion control specialist who's going to monitor the site on a continual basis to make sure that there's no erosion getting into the wetlands or into the drain systems. The post, after a certificate of compliance is issued, they're going to have a permanent stormwater management operation and maintenance supervisor, and they'll have to follow all of the post-development operation and maintenance plan that was proposed by the engineer, and that's going to have to be handled through a homeowners association. They have to file what we call a NIPDES, Notice of Intent, National Pollution Discharge Elimination System requires anything over an acre to be of disturbance to be filed with them so that they can have some oversight. So that has to be done. A homeowners association for doing a drainage agreement with the town so that they have to live up to a certain maintenance requirements, which includes the supervisor. And so they can't get out of that because it's going to be part of the homeowner's budget. We also have concerns over invasive plant managements about the areas around the detention basins and the areas that are not going to be developed. We don't want to see it become overgrown with invasive plants, so there's a requirement for that in there. The wetland scientist that is going to be doing the replication plan needs to file a number of different reports to us prior to construction to make sure that the conditions are acceptable for replication of wetlands. And I got to put in a few more items that we discussed at our last meeting. So I would say by the next meeting on the 7th, we will have this all finalized, and I can send it out to you ahead of time so that you can add any comments if you like, but it's pretty comprehensive.
Looks like it.
I can share the next item, which is the conservation restriction. So this is a template that they use at the Mass Division of Fish and Wildlife and the Natural Heritage Endangered Species Program. We would be the grantee, which means that we don't own the land. We only are the trustees of the area to assure natural heritage and the MESA program that the homeowners association won't all of a sudden decide to put a picnic pavilion out in the non-developed portion of the 40B development called Cochise Estates. So that's what that is, and I still don't have an answer to you on the conservation restriction. The time I was in at the town hall, the assessor wasn't there, so I'm going to have to email him and find out about that. But you did receive a probably, if I remember correctly, an email from Kitty, who has experience with this through the land trust that she's part of in Bridgewater, and she highly recommended it, especially since we are the abutting property to this. It would be better for us than to have something like the Wildland Trust or some other outside conservation trust organization mixing it up with us on this large parcel. So I'll send this out to you and have an answer for the tax situation. And you can make a decision whether you want to be a trustee or not. I don't think it's going to affect their tax status because they're still going to own that land. It's just going to have an easement on it that does not allow any type of disturbance to it. So it's a lot like the conservation easements. This is more formal conservation restriction than some of our conservation easements that we ask homeowners or developers to give us on their subdivisions, which is just, again, a way of protecting an area and not allowing the homeowner to go in there and put their gardens and swimming pools and that kind of thing. And they still get taxed on those areas. So that's my gut instinct on whether it's going to affect taxes or not. It's not developable land, so it's low value to start with, so it can't affect it too much anyway. But I'll have an answer for you on that.
Okay, looks good, John. I mean, you spent quite a bit of time on both of these.
A lot of work. Yeah.
Very
we'll-
comprehensive.
So we'll have an answer to that for the 7th. So that'll be on the agenda for the 7th as well.
Okay. Any other questions on that one?
Yeah.
Any butters or anybody? Okay. Hearing none, then I will move on to our administrative. We have a request for certificate of compliance for 403 Pleasant Street.
And we have Scott Rogers from JK Holmgren attending the meeting this evening. Scott, do you have the plan to present, or do you want me to present it for you?
Do you mind presenting it, John? I'd appreciate it.
All right, I'll move the cursor around and you just tell me where you want it to go.
All right, so for the record, my name's Scott Rogers, JK Holmgren Engineering. We performed a inspection back in April for the property. Also performed an as-built, with topography and two-dimensional locations of all the drainage facilities and the things within the site. So the drainage system that was built within the 50 to 100-foot buffer zone appears to be working really well as it was intended and designed to function. All the slopes are stabilized. It's not a super deep basin, but it's all the slopes are stabilized. All the area that was originally disturbed, in the buffer zones has been completely revegetated and stabilized. It's also, all the areas are basically revegetating themselves. So the applicant has also done a great job of keeping up with the vegetation, not letting it get too out of control. So really, we're looking for a certificate of compliance for this property. And that's it.
So for the commission members' memory, this is down at the end of Pleasant Street where Maple Street turns into a dirt road. And we have the self-storage units just a little bit north of the site. And currently this site is being used as a material handling yard with mulch and cutting up. I think they grind up stumps and that kind of thing to make mulch.
Correct.
Is that correct, Scott?
Yeah. They basically make mulch products, landscape products.
And recently the commission approved the reconstruction of Maple Street out to the marijuana dispensary, medical dispensary building that's going to be in this facility here. So that's generally where the site is. And then of course we have Route 24 out to the east of it here. So I'm recommending issuing a certificate of compliance without a bond.
All right, anybody have any questions?
No.
Comments? Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to issue a certificate of compliance without a bond.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
All right, thank you, Scott.
Thank you very much. Have a nice night, guys.
You too.
Right.
Next, we have 133 Brooks Place, requesting a certificate of compliance.
Okay, back, let's see, where are we? Here we go. So back in the late fall, beginning of winter, they installed a septic system, an upgrade, a repair upgrade of a septic system And when I went out there, of course, there was no loam or seed. So we asked to have the applicant provide us with some assurance that the grass would grow. So they deposited $1,500, and we issued a certificate of compliance with that as surety that the grass would grow. And so I'm recommending, since it is growing, that we release the $1,500 back to the previous homeowner. So it's a release of bond, not an issuance of certificate. We already did that.
All right, anybody have any questions?
Oh,
All right, I will entertain a motion to release the bond for 133 Brooks Place.
motion to release the bond?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
So moved. And John, do we have any invoices?
We do. Let me show you what those are. We have an Allen and Major, our 53G consultant, who's whoop, where did it go? Hold on for a second. So we have an invoice for the review of the Scotland Street 40B.
And what's going in there? What, you don't know? Weren't they talking about it?
So here's the Cochise Estates invoice and the current amount that we owe them, and that's all we're going to owe them is $1,501.52. So I'm recommending that the commission approve that invoice for payment.
All right.
Does that build back to the developer?
Yes, the developer deposited initially a set amount. I can't remember the exact amount, but it was like maybe 4,000. And
Yeah.
and when I found out that they were going back for a third review, which was not covered under the first two reviews, I asked the developer to give us a check, and he did for that amount. So he's covering that, and it was deposited, and we'll be paying that through the town.
Okay. Well, I'll make a motion to approve it and let Tim sign it when he can.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
And then we have, and I didn't realize that I hadn't turned in something for quite a while. So we got last part of last year's mileage for a total of $75.40 for the various inspections that I made, which is I've detailed the description of what it was. And then I've got another one for this year. Like I say, I didn't realize that been so long. So it's for $429.53. And the real biggie on it was the trip out to the Mass Association of Conservation Commission conference out in Worcester and back. So that bumped it up quite a bit. But anyway, those are the mileage invoices that need to be signed. And I can't recommend signing them since it's going to me.
I will entertain a motion to sign the reimbursement for travel. Do I have somebody wanting to make a motion?
I'll
I'll make the
second.
motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve John's mileage. Have Tim sign it.
Okay, I'll second it.
Moved and seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, so moved.
You had me worried there for a second. There was dead silence. All right. Then the final item is Joan Pierce contacted me, and we had discussed the Skim Mill Bridge project where they're trying to get it on the on the state historic register, possibly the National Historic Register, and also looking into having some engineering studies done on it to restore it back to its original form, since it's been falling apart due to a number of issues out there. Some of it man-made, some of it natural. And she contacted me just this last week and asked that if the commission would be agreeable for her to ask the Taunton River Stewardship Council to apply for a grant to help pay for it as well. So we would have some CPC money and some, if it's voted on by the Taunton River Stewardship Council, some money from them to do these studies, so it wouldn't be coming out of the taxpayers as much. Actually, it doesn't come out. It's the Community Preservation Fund is a fund that comes out of the recording of deeds at the registry. For every recording, there's an extra fee that's put into a kitty, and that's where the money actually comes from. It's not from the general budget, but they wouldn't have to use as much CPC money, which would leave some more for other projects in town next year or even this year if somebody applies for it. So I think it's a great idea. You've already agreed to the other one, so I would recommend that the commission let Joan know that we would be agreeable to be the body that lets the grant funnel through, because you actually need to have an entity, not just a committee.
All right, then I'll entertain a motion to authorize seeking grant money for Skim Mill Bridge.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So moved.
So that's about it, unless the commission members have any things that you wanted to discuss.
Nope, I'll just say, John, when you get the invoices ready to be signed, let me know and I can swing by and put the signature on all of them.
Okay. And then my idea is that if I can get some of those order of conditions all set up, that I would contact a number of you by email. And as long as we get a majority of you that are available, I can swing by to your houses and we can use social distancing. Bring your own pen. That way you don't have to disinfect it after every use and that kind of thing. And I think we can get some of the things signed and out and prevent any backlog that might develop. And believe it or not, I participate each week through Zoom meeting with Mass Society of Municipal Conservation Professionals, which are agents from all over the state who attend the Zoom meeting. And from some of the things I've heard, a number of the commissions haven't been holding any meetings, which is allowable with the state of emergency staying or basically allowing nothing to be permitted if the conditions are that way, without any penalty to the town or to the state until after the emergency declaration is over. And so some have been waiting actually, and I just pity them when all of a sudden they get hit with the backlog of all the hearings that they got to go through. And their Zoom meetings or their public meetings at the town hall might be until midnight or after, trying to get through it all. But we've been plowing ahead. I just haven't been able to get all of the paperwork done for you, so.
Well, and it helps with the businesses too that depend on us for approval or comment or whatever.
Right.
I would say, John, send that email out, and if we could coordinate it so that you only have to make a trip to town once and kind of do the drive around circle, whatever, to get signatures. We could
I
probably
don't
all.
mind coming over there if it works.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too.
All right, so we can meet out in the parking lot at the town hall. So either way, I'll be flexible. If you guys need, different schedules, that's fine.
Okay.
All right,
Perfect.
that's all I have.
Anybody have anything else?
You still have a butters or are they gone?
We have one.
Ruth.
No more.
We didn't get your name.
Ruth. Ruth
Ruth,
Bochamp,
and are you on
Lincoln,
Lincoln Street?
Lincoln, yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you stayed with us, Ruth.
Me
It's nice,
too, me too.
nice to have you listening in.
It was very interesting.
Thank you.
Anytime you want to join in, we publish the link so you can listen in and see what we do.
Would I use that same number that I was given?
It changes every meeting.
Okay. All right, I'll call Tim.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah. Awesome. I will entertain a motion to adjourn then.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. Thank you. Thank you again, everybody.